Welcome to the Miscellaneous Podcast.
All right. After Dark.
So, you need to catch up. Have you been listening?
To the ones that say, or the ones, not as much as I should. I'll just put that way.
No, it doesn't matter. So, Frasley kind of came out.
Yeah, saw that on Twitter. Does it work? Oh, there's my head.
Look at that handsome face. So, Frasley came out as a dude who doesn't like to fuck. Now he's left the show. Yeah, so that's weird. He was on our 4 o'clock. So what's up with you, man? How was the honeymoon?
So I came out. No, I'm just kidding. Honeymoon was okay. I wouldn't recommend anybody taking their honeymoon in the middle of a global pandemic.
I thought you had canceled that already.
We did.
I thought you guys had planned it. I thought you had planned it and then went ahead and canceled it.
We did. That was back in March. We were supposed to take our honeymoon, which was originally a cruise in March, and then we canceled it and rebooked it for a resort, an all-inclusive kind of thing, in March again that same week. Well, then everybody freaked out about an invisible enemy that we won't name because we're going to try to avoid talking about it. Anyways, we rescheduled it when everything started opening back up, and we went on this trip to Cabo San Lucas, and it was great. Weather was nice. It was hot as balls.
That's when never mind. Go ahead.
And then the only downside is that, like, you go on these all-inclusive trips, and the hotel's nice and everything, but the hotel only had one restaurant open. They had 4 restaurants at this resort, and half the resort was shut down, so they only had one restaurant open. Yeah,
they're going to inconvenience you. They already got your money.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, all of the, like, what do you call them? Not events, but like excursions you can go do and stuff and pay for.
Yeah, like dolphins or snorkeling or whatever.
Yeah, all that's closed down too because of this stuff. So really, we just spent a week at this resort eating food that was okay. Because after a while, we got sick of the restaurant because, I mean, we ate there for literally every meal. So, I mean,
they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't let you. Do I sound like I'm too far away?
No, you sound fine.
All right, okay. I don't understand why you can't go snorkeling in water because of COVID. Or I'm sorry, the invisible. Actually, it's not invisible; it's microscopic. If you want to be technical.
Invisible to the human eye, unless you're Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He sees everything because he squints really hard. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, it was okay.
Like he's looking at the sun like George Bush.
Yeah,
I understand your concerns.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
but it was good. We still enjoyed it. Yeah. No more politics. We're gonna have plenty of that once the podcast is over here tonight.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm kind of scared to watch, but all right, we'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about it another time.
Oh yeah.
So, how long were you guys down there?
We were down there for a week. Sorry.
Is that her body? You killed
her?
No. I'm not recording video, just audio. But he has a blue flag that says 2020 Trump, and he's holding up "Triggered" by Donald Trump Jr. We would talk about his taxes coming out yesterday, but we're not going to talk politics. I swear to God, man.
I wasn't talking. I was holding up a book and I was holding up a flag.
We knew. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's all a mess. Whole world's a mess. It's falling apart.
Now, I know you got stuff going on behind the scenes. We won't talk about that, but
Baby Sin?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Baby Sin.
I didn't want to announce it for you. Just, that's
man. It's all right. I don't care. I'm not a internet
it's kind of
anymore.
How long has it been since you guys started trying again?
I mean, we never really stopped. I mean, she had the miscarriage, and I mean, for maybe a month after that, she was pretty depressed about it, and then
understandable.
Still sad, and still sad now to an extent, but very happy with the situation that we're in currently. 7 weeks along, and everything's going a-okay.
Congratulations!
Thank you. We're very, very excited.
Dude, just wait. Even if it's whatever, natural C-section, my daughter was born C-section. As soon as I heard her scream, like I felt all the blood rush out of my head. They had to give her Xanax and shit. It's insane. Well, and then she had a C-section, so I'm seeing her hip bones and her
her intestines are outside.
Yeah, she's yellow. It was bloody footprints everywhere.
This will be a C-section baby just because Rowan was a C-section baby as well. And we wanted to try and do a natural birth because it's not as frowned upon anymore as it used to be. And the doctor just said that my wife's hips are just way too narrow. So she, unfortunately, isn't going to be able to. But still happy either way. Yeah.
Well, my ex-wife, it was the same thing. It was just too narrow. But then it got even worse when the cord got wrapped around her neck. So her heart rate dropped from 145 down to like 30. So they had to do emergency C-section. She wasn't going to fit all the way through anyway. They gave her too much. They gave her too much Pitocin, even though they knew they were going to do whatever. She's healthy though, so
good.
All right, well, cool. But, you guys, wait, are you coaching again?
I'm not actually.
I know you got a promotion, right?
Yeah, I got a promotion at the job that I was complaining about so much. And just before that, the school that wanted to hire me, the coach had hired me. And the head coach had hired me, said I was going to be on staff. I started doing all my stuff, researching teams, watching film, all that stuff, trying to get ahead of the game. And then like a month before school started, he up and calls me and says that the principal filled all the teaching positions and asked me if I could be a permanent sub and then coach on the side. And I was like, a permanent sub salary doesn't even touch what I'm making now. And I kind of just told him, I was like, that's not really what I'm looking for. I mean, I'd teach at another school and come over and coach. He's like, all right. Well, never really heard back from him. And then my job ended up giving me the promotion that I have now, which was a hefty salary increase. And then they called me back and said, hey, we got a teaching position for you. No, sorry. They called me back and asked if I could be a teacher aide coach. And I said,
that's like a resident. That's like an RA at a dorm. That's bad.
Right. And then I told him, I was like, I'm sorry, coach, but you can't touch me now. I make your salary now. So I'm sorry.
Right.
So it doesn't look like I'll be going back to coaching.
The company you work for, I'm not going to say the name, but there just happens to be a huge company of a same brand, begins with a P. There's a huge station right there.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys really, really that busy?
Lately, actually, no. We were slammed for the past, I don't know, 1 or 2 months, and then just out of nowhere, like a week and a half ago, just died. Mm-hmm. It's like we fixed every truck in the state. We weren't getting.
You know why?
Why is that?
They changed those truckers' hours. So where I work now, what they did was during COVID, they suspended how many hours they could drive. And then they just now reinstated them. So the drivers who were driving ended up stopping driving. And the other guys took these other loads, but they're going over their hours. So I think in the past 2 weeks, our warehouse we get a truck every day. I think we went 3 days in a row without a truck. One guy got detained for going over his hours. Another one had like a truck breakdown because he's been going nonstop. He hadn't had it serviced. Just these guys, I think now, one, they're running ragged, and two, they're limited by their hours. Sorry.
That's a big problem that we see. They will run it until it's broke, and then when it breaks, they come in to get it fixed. But on diesel trucks, it just seems like when one thing breaks, there's a bunch of other things that are breaking too, because everything with all the new emission stuff that's on, everything is connected and everything runs off of each other. So if it's not one thing, it's another with these trucks sometimes. If you're not overly picky about your maintenance and planning your stops and things like that, planning your downtime. But our big problem too is that where I am, which is the northern part of Louisiana, our main customers as far as trucking industry goes is oil field, construction, and logger. And the only ones that didn't stop were loggers. Loggers kept going. Construction did a little bit, but oil field tanked. So if the oil field's not running, I'm not getting sand trucks in, and that hurt a big part of our business. Like Baker Hughes, they're one of our biggest customers, and I haven't seen one of their trucks in months.
Damn.
So, but it'll be all right. I think things are going to be slow now for the next month or so, mostly because around election time our industry slows. And then right. because everybody wants to know what's going to happen, whether Democrats or Republicans win, because Democrats are the primary reason for most of the emission laws that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wants to kind of see where things go.
Well, and all that stuff is priced out. If they're going to do anything, they have think tanks that think, 100 steps ahead, 100 different scenarios about who's going to be president. And what they do is they shock the market. Just like when Trump I'm not talking politics, but the confidence in the market flew up just by who won the election.
Oh yeah. And then, in January, not because of politics, but in January, it's the end of the last fiscal quarter. So all these guys, and tax season's about to start, they're all going to have a bunch of money that they got to spend. So they're going to be buying a whole bunch of trucks. So they'll be running. But it's just, sorry, it happens every year. Our industry slows down around this time. Election year just seems to get a little bit worse, but it'll be all back up and rolling here in the next couple months.
I have some friends that have been driving for a long time. They're a husband and wife, but they drive, cars. So they have those small. But one will sleep, one will drive, and then it's time for one to sleep, one will drive. One will sleep, they just don't stop.
Yep.
East Coast, West Coast, West Coast. I mean, yeah, if you can get the loads, that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, it's good. And some people, like we have a guy. He owns his truck. It's his business. He owns it outright. And he plans his downtime. And if he's not in our shop, that truck is running. So his truck will usually come in and be in our shop for maybe 3 or 4 days. But if it's not in our shop, it's running back and forth. This guy puts 500 to 600,000 miles on the truck in 2 years and then trades it in and gets him a new one. This guy is very smart. He does time sensitive loads. And that stuff pays very, very well. I don't know what it is, but time-sensitive stuff in the trucking industry pays pretty well.
I would assume it's probably chemicals, so they don't break down. Maybe,
possibly.
Something they can break down. Anyway,
now that we've lost our entire audience,
no, we can cut a lot of this out. Where the fuck is everybody else at?
Who cares? I'm here. That's all that matters.
I don't know if you had conspiracies or anything like that, ghost stuff. Did you see the post I put on Facebook?
The one about the Amazon card,
The gift card. Yeah,
it's a pretty big conspiracy.
So
I think it's real.
no. Where I'm from, and the high school I went to, there's a lot of famous people that actually went to my high school. The years I went to high school, right?
Yep.
So celebrities like myself, shut up, Tyron Woodley, yeah, Tyron Woodley, welterweight champion 6 times. Keon Harold is a 3-time Grammy winner. The singer Michael McDonald went to my high school. But the craziest thing is a serial killer went to my high school.
Really?
A fucking serial killer. I drove by the murder house today because I wanted to check it out. And, here I'll get to that. So his name's Maury Travis. And there was only one person that remembered him from high school. And it was an English teacher. That's like how quiet he was. And he had gotten into some shit and was sent to like prison and shit for drugs and heroin. And he ended up kidnapping and killing 20 plus hookers, right? Dumping them in East St. Louis because obviously no one's gonna be looking really for a hooker. So he was teasing the police. He was teasing the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and he sent a typewritten letter. It was actually the case was on Forensic Files, but he sent a map to the newspaper with an X on it showing where a body would be. Well, IP addresses, FBI just looked and see where that map came from, and then followed that IP address back to this house in Ferguson. So they went into the house, they confronted him, took the computer. He had made a whole dungeon in the basement, strapping these women down, doing all sorts of torture to them for days. And he recorded it all. And the detectives for St. Louis County, they had too much trouble watching it. Well, 2 years later, one of my friends is sitting in her house. The show comes on, Forensic Files. It's like, oh, Ferguson, okay, I live here. This is around my area. And then they show the house on Forensic Files, and she's like, that's the fucking house I'm in. So she was wondering no one told her about the murders, nothing like that. She went to the landlord. So Maury Travis didn't get prosecuted because when he got arrested, he committed suicide in prison. Well, after he died, the mother rented the torture house to these people without telling him, and then even let them keep the furniture that the murderer would torture people on. And he would sit and eat breakfast. They threw it in as a part of the deal and wouldn't let them out of the lease. Isn't that crazy?
That's messed up.
But yeah,
it was crazy on multiple levels.
Well, it was just weird. He was a serial killer. I never thought.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of friends who actually have been to that are in for life for fucking murder. But it wasn't like murder, like it was like a crime of passion. So a guy I used to work with, he was a valet where I used to work. Well, he was a compulsive liar. He was always making up all sorts of stuff. And we thought he was stealing, blah, blah, blah. Well, he leaves. All of a sudden, he starts playing at the place that I work, spending lots of money. And then all of a sudden comes out that the police are looking for him. Well, he was taking care of a quadriplegic, and the guy could only move with like a straw, but he was sitting there taking this guy's money and losing it at the casino. So when the handicap guy found out about it, he was going to tell, and This guy, Ty, stabbed him a bunch of times, then drove to his house, got a gas can, set the house on fire, and the guy died.
Ooh. I have a story. It's not a conspiracy, but the fire reminded me of it. That's messed up, and you know a lot of weird people.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I know, man.
What have you done? What Wikipedia article am I going to be looking up about you in the future?
Nothing yet, man. I just like to watch.
So
I'm into serial killers, dude.
So you watch the TV shows that my wife watches, which is just incredibly boring to me. I can't watch that stuff. It's so boring.
What are you watching then?
I don't watch a lot of TV. No, I don't watch.
I know. I see you. You're playing World of Warcraft.
I'm not playing World of Warcraft.
You're a liar.
I'm not playing World of Warcraft at all right now. You want to see my screen?
Okay.
I'll show you my screen.
No, I don't think listeners want to hear that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Just work and sleep?
Basically, that's all. That's really all my life's become. As far as video game go, I play Call of Duty on my phone, and that's about it. But I get up, go to work, come home, work out, eat my dinner, go to sleep. That's basically all I do now. I'm a normal person, and it blows sometimes.
Sounds boring.
It's very boring. I was sitting here today. I stayed home. My daughter was running a little fever today. It's not COVID. Relax, people. Anyways, but I was sitting here while she's taking a nap, and I was like, I don't want to play anything. Like, this is, and I've been keeping up with World of Warcraft and the new expansion and stuff, and the more and more I read about it, the more I'm like, this is going to take a lot of work for me to do what I want to do in this game, and I don't know if I'm about that life. So I don't really play video games. In fact, I've considered selling my PC just so I can get me the new Xbox or PlayStation or something.
You don't really play video games, but you want a $900 game system.
Well, I have a $1,700 computer right here that I don't use.
Oh, can I have it?
Not for free. No, but console games are different. Like in the morning, I sit and drink my coffee and, do old people stuff. In the morning, I used to play video games before I went to work, but in the mornings now, I've just gotten to where I'll just sit and relax. Sometimes I'll read, but most of the time I'm on Facebook. I've actually started using, this is going to sound like either really old or very conservative. I don't know, but I really like reading articles on LinkedIn because it's the only social media platform that has no politics on it. That's the only one.
Yeah.
And I'm just tired of it. I'm really so tired of seeing it at all. It's what all our day is consumed of, and it's just, I'm trying to enjoy my life. I don't care what everybody else does.
Yeah. So I'm single, been trying to meet people, whatever. But with all this technology and the social media people with these filters, they're getting fucking ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, it's bonkers.
Because it seems to get rid of all the flaws, which doesn't match reality. And then when you go to meet them, it's like, I don't see...
There's no honesty left in any of it.
No. And then on some of the profiles, it's average body or, some of the girls are actually honest and say, I'm a BBW or whatever.
What are your stats?
Right. Fuck, man. But they'll say like average body, and then you'll scroll through, get to some pictures, and I'm like, oh, you're 5 feet and $175? No, that's not. That's not average. And they got the average pretty fit. The face is pretty. It's narrow, thin neck. And then when they show the body shot, it's like, that does not match your fucking
Have you watched, do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
Have you watched what's it called? That documentary that just came out about social media?
Social Dilemma?
Yeah.
I've seen about half. The first half was pretty nuts.
I haven't watched it yet because I'm scared of it. And it's hard to say I'm scared of it. And I mean, you see how much I post on social media. I really don't.
Well, here's the thing. So it's nothing to be scared of. This shit you need to know. So like the CEOs of, Google and Adobe and all these companies and these directors and, business model managers, well, they're all coming out. And like when you scroll on your Instagram, if you pause, it gives you a countdown of screen time, how long that stayed still on your phone, and then to your next scroll. So once that ad is sat there for a certain amount of time, gets a score, then that advertising has to be paid for, and then it starts with your algorithm of
that explain. Okay, so
and
TikTok.
Then since Facebook is linked to Instagram, TikTok, who's got a lot of that stock in TikTok? It's like 2 U.S. companies, and then I think Japan maybe or China kept a little bit of it. Well, China, but it was approved that 2 U.S. companies were gonna anyway. But they're linked. I mean, it's all so they just play on your algorithm. I got a girl that I'd never been on Facebook with. No, I didn't take her out. I asked her out, and she was already seeing somebody. And then she finds me on Facebook, friends request me. We have no one in common, and I came up as a suggestion. We were on Plenty of Fish. Never talked anywhere else. But I popped up in her Facebook.
I have a problem, and I stopped watching. I was obsessed with TikTok. My wife got me. My wife started doing it, watching TikToks first, and then I started doing it. And I was getting frustrated because I liked watching dog videos. I liked these dudes that sang songs in different people's voices. And I think I followed Will Smith. Like,
let me guess, were you on the same account and she's playing a different algorithm?
We have 2 separate TikToks. She has her own, I have mine. Okay. Yeah. But all the time, I couldn't go to the like For You page because it was like 19-year-old girls in bikinis dancing. And I was honest with my wife. I'd be like, look at this. And I'd show her my screen and be like, I can't believe this is on my phone. And because I stopped there to show her that, it's like, that he liked it. So I just get more and more of it. And now Instagram has their little Reels thing right here, which mine's got a Jeep Trackhawk on it. I've been working really hard to get this to where it is. There's 3 things I like a lot. That's lifting weights, Jeep Trackhawks, and diesel trucks. And I click on everything I can to get this to not be a half-naked woman.
I think you need to add 4 things that you love.
What's the 4th one?
Peloton bikes. I was thinking, pussy, but...